Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to sit down and talk about a few things that have been going on with Chanel. I wanted to go through the Métiers collection for 2024 that usually I find to be the most interesting out of all of the ones that they release throughout the year, with the exception of Cruise because I really like Cruise. I find that Métiers is usually the one that is the most intricate and it's really beautiful. We have so many tweets and very fun bags. So there's actually a few bags and of course the shoes too that I really loved and I wanted to kind of talk about it. And also I wanted to talk about Virginie Viard leaving Chanel, which I think it's crazy. I did not see this happening, especially right now, so I wanted to talk about it for the ones who have not yet seen videos about this because everyone is really talking about this. This only means that we're gonna have so many changes coming for Chanel. So let's sit down, talk about Chanel, grab your coffee if it's the morning for you, or a glass of wine, a snack if it's a little bit later, and let's talk about bags. So this year the collection took place in Manchester and I saw the show. At first I was not too impressed with the collection and not many bags stand out to me, but now that I was able to see all of them on the website and take a closer look, I do have a few bags that I really love. And I do have to say that I love tweed bags so much, and one of my favorite bags from my collection is actually from Metiers and is this tweed. I believe this one was from 2020 or 2021. Like right now I'm blanking. If I find it, I'll let you know. But with the past few years that we have seen so many pastels and neons and metallics, sometimes when it comes to Metiers I'm able to find some bags that have the most beautiful tweeds, which in my opinion are the perfect bags for winter, fall like outfits. They're really cozy, they're really beautiful. I really love this bag. Every time that fall arrives, I just take it out of the closet and I start wearing it non-stop. So I have the bags here in my computer and I wanted to go through basically my favorite ones and maybe possibly add one to the wish list. I would love to know what you guys think because it's a very crazy bag. Not crazy, like it's a really cute bag, but it's not something that I would usually add. I just feel like I really like it. This is one of the first bags that I found to be quite interesting and it's full of flowers and sequins. This is not specifically something that I would add myself, but I do really love the way that the flowers inside of the hearts and the black hardware, it's a really cool bag. And being a mini, I can see this bag being like a party, night out, event type of situation. I really like it. I would not personally buy it, but I really like it. And this next one is the one that I've been debating on and I feel like I love like 50% of the bag and the other one is like, okay, I can live with that. But this is so beautiful, like the flowers and the white with the gold heart, like it's really pretty. If the bag was only the white sequins with the purple flowers and that was it, I would be so over this bag. You guys have no idea how much I've been into this type of vibe. Like it's really Bridgerton-ish and it's beautiful and it's really cute. The only thing that it's kind of holding me back is the tea set and the cakes that I like. It's cute, but if it was only purple flowers, I think it would be cuter. That's just my 2 cents. I really like it. I love that it's a mini. If it was a medium or a small, I think it would be probably a little bit too much. I don't know the price, but I'm gonna try to find it. I don't know if I should add this. Like it's really different from everything that I have. I would love a full floral collection from Chanel, like bags like this, but like without the tea set. I mean, it's so cute. I really love it, but it's very out there. It's definitely not me. I always go for classic colors, things that are quite neutral, and this is definitely not that. So this is something that I'm gonna sit on for a little bit because I know that if I wait too long, it's going to be impossible to get it, and maybe try to find it at the store and see if I like it in person. But I would love to know what you guys think about it. I know that many people will not like it. This is like very niche for me. It needs mainly because of the flowers. We have this one that is like this dark gray with lighter gray with this pattern. Like I really like it. Nothing too special pops out to me. If you like shiny bags, I think this one, like I really like the combination of the grays with the silver hardware. Also a mini, so this is a bit of a more muted low-key version of the other two without too much add-ons. And there's also this one in houndstooth that I would absolutely love it if it was just the houndstooth itself. It does have flowers added with pearls, but I kind of feel like the background it's already way too busy, and adding the pearls in colors, you kind of lose them. So it just feels a little bit too saturated saturated. Like you cannot even tell that there are flowers from afar. Like of course if you inspect the bag and you see close-ups of the pictures, you can tell that it's flowers and it has beautiful details, but I feel like both of them together, it's just a little bit too much that both are overpowering each other. So I'm not a big fan of this one. However, I love the tweed and I love the houndstooth pattern. I did find interesting that the bags for this collection, some of them on the outside are one color and the inside it's another color, and I really like it. This particular shade of brown in tweed, I'm not the biggest fan of this exact shade of brown, and I don't love the combination with the pink inside, but I think next we're gonna see the other ones. There's a purple one that I really liked. We have this duvet that doesn't really stand out a lot to me. Like I don't see much of a difference between others that we have seen before. I do like the duvet and I do love leather duvets. I would just love to see maybe a full tweed one would be really nice. I don't love this one, but I feel like it's basic, something really nice to add if you want a black leather tote. And this is the purple one or lilac that I was speaking about. I've been really thinking about adding a purple bag onto my collection for the longest time. I don't know if Chanel is going to be the way to go or Dior, but this one in tweed is really beautiful and I love the inside of the bag. The combination of the lilac and the coral, it works out very well for me. Like I like it. I love the idea of opening your bag and seeing a different color, so I am a big fan. Not sure if this is the purple bag that I would end up deciding to get if I do it in the future. Do I love it? Yes, I do. Would I get it? I need to see the price first and see it in person. I definitely would need to see these bags in person. But this one, I think I really like. We have this medium in tweed. I love red. I've been loving red way more than I used to. Like it's kind of growing on me, but would I go for a bright red? Probably not. I think I'm more inclined to get something that is like burgundy or like a deep wine shade, like something that I could find easier to pair with things. So this is not it for me, but I do really like the tweed. I don't know if I love the inside color. I think it does match the bag, but I would have maybe gone for like a brownish color to make it like a full mood type of bag. Then I was a little bit confused because then I saw this green tweed one, also really like it, but this one doesn't have a different color interior. I don't know why, just doesn't have it. As I said, a lot of tweeds. I'm not the biggest fan of this one, but I wanted to show it. This is a bit of a new style of bag that I actually didn't like when they launched it, but now it's kind of growing on me. I don't love the charm on the chain, but I do really like the pocket that it has on the front, and I think we're gonna start seeing it in more shades and materials. This one I kind of do like. I feel like it could be a very comfortable bag. It gives me the same feeling that I have with the Kelly, and it's that because they are really flat bags, they kind of feel a little bit cheap and that they are made of paper or origami type of thing. But when they are not in shiny leather and they're actually on tweeds and other materials, they feel a little bit more sturdy. I don't know why. Like I'm gonna put in comparison, for example, the Kelly. Here you have it in tweed and here you have it in leather, and I just feel like the tweed one is more substantial as a bag. It's definitely only my perception and the way that I like things, but I kind of just like it more in tweed. So I do kind of like this one. I could do without the charms, but I do like the pocket. I've been seeing way more backpacks now. I used to be such a fan of the Urban Spirit backpack from Chanel. Like it was in collections from quite a few years ago, and I'm seeing that it's kind of coming back now in caviar and also different types of backpacks. So I'm wondering if we're gonna see more backpacks now. This is something that I already tried and failed. It's just not for me. I prefer bags, handbags. I don't feel like I dress in a style that I would be actually able to pull off like a backpack look. So I like the fact that this one has so many details, and I do like the color, but I will definitely stay away from every backpack from every fashion house unless it's something that I need later on in life. Just right now, I don't think it's the time. So now we have the same bag. I think this is lilac patent leather and it just doesn't look as good. I think I only just like tweed, probably, especially for this styles of bags. So I guess patent leather, it's never been something that I like, so it's a no for me. This duvet in denim though, this one I do like, and I do like the stripes. It adds a little bit more to the bag, and I really like the pouch that it has inside. It's a really pretty bag. Would I get it? Probably no, but I do like it. And I don't really love denim bags. I've never liked them. I've never had any denim bags on my wish list. It's just never been something that I'm drawn to, but this one I do find quite beautiful. This one is a type of bag that every time that I go to a Chanel store, they always have it on display outside. So you go and ask if you can see it, and they tell you no, that they don't have any of that bag, and that one is on display only, so you cannot actually see it. But I do love crystal bags. This is not my favorite one ever that Chanel has released, but I do kind of like it. I think this would be a beautiful piece for night things, like going for dinner, an event. I don't even want to find out the price point. It's probably going to be quite high, but it's a beautiful bag. Then we have this mini with a handle. I've always had a bit of a hard time with Chanel bags that have things on the chain. I always feel like they're gonna tangle with my hair, because this happens to me with any bag that has any type of buckle or things on it. My hair gets entangled on it and it starts to pull it, and it's also not very practical. These ones do not bother me that much. I feel like they're interesting and they do add to the bag, but it does not add enough for me to want to spend that much on a bag, because every time that they release these bags that they're like the classic basic styles and they just put some extra things to it, and then it's way more expensive. We have the Kelly bag in black velvet, and I do have a love-hate relationship when it comes to velvet bags, especially with black ones. I love the way they look. I've had two. I used to have the Gucci Marmont in black velvet and the YSL Toy Lulu also in black velvet. The reason that I don't keep them, and I've sold both of them, is because I have a golden retriever, so it's not something that I can keep without them looking so dirty and so full of hair. I like it. I honestly do like it. I would never get it because I have learned from my past mistakes, but I think the bag is beautiful. This mini 22 is cute. I like it. Again, it's not something that I would go out of my way to save and buy. I've always been a little bit concerned that these bags that have the charms attached, that they're gonna fall off, and repairing things is not always as easy as one thinks, so I would stay away from them just because of that, and it would have to be something that I just love way too much to not be able to pass it. It's really beautiful, but yes, I feel like they would just snatch things here and there, so not practical at all. This lilac mini with top handle caught my attention, not for the bag itself, but because of the top handle. I think this one was a really nice detail that I really like. I love the combination of purple and blue, so the blue crystals on the handle and the gold. I love it, and I do think that it's really beautiful. This is exactly the type of denim that I'm not a fan of. Nothing wrong with it, I just don't like washed denim with colors. I remember the whole collection that they had of Chanel 19 bags and these bigger flaps that were in this washed denim shades. I've never really been too attracted to them, and also on the Kelly bag, it just not for me. Now we have this bowl, and something that I always wonder with these limited edition Chanel bags that we see a lot on Métiers, like we always have interesting things. These are definitely collector's items. I just find them to be pretty much useless. Like, what can you put inside of this bag? And opening and closing it has to be quite of a hassle. So I would personally never get any of this, because they are more like charms or decoration collector's pieces more than something that you can realistically use. So as much as I find them interesting and I love to zoom and look for the details that they have, the price point is always insanely high and they're insanely difficult to use. So it's also a pass for me. Like, it would have to be something very interesting. I've actually not been that much on the loop on new Chanel bags, so I don't know if this is new, but this burgundy tote, it kind of reminds me of the GST that was discontinued a while ago. I really love that tote, and it was in caviar, so it was kind of a favorite bag for everyone that was looking for a tote. Then they stopped making it, and we have now, of course, the Deauville. This one is interesting, and I do like the tiny bag attached to it. I would love to be able to see how the bag is actually attached to the tote, but it's cute and honestly a useful bag. I would love to know the size of it. I'm not sure about the size of the bag itself, but it looks quite big to me. We have this box that it's also a collector's limited edition item. This one I actually like it more than the bowl. I don't know how useful it can be and what can actually fit inside. I'm always a little bit confused with the sizing, because you can think it's one size in the pictures of the website and then you get to see it in person and it's nothing like that. I feel like the only time that I've been tempted into these types of collector's items was the coffer that it had, the 4 mini bags. I'm gonna try to look for a picture. That one was so beautiful, completely useless, super expensive, but so beautiful. This one is interesting enough. I do love the pearl details that it has, and on the inside it has a little mirror, so it's a really cute bag. We also have this sequin houndstooth mini. I hope that I'm pronouncing sequins correct because it's one of those words that I learned from reading it. I don't know if I've heard it enough to not mispronounce it every time that I say it, but I do like it. It's a little bit too busy for me, but I do think that it's a really, really cool bag. This sort of portfolio is the type of bags that I always really feel attracted to because it has this vintage vibe to it. I love the shiny leather. I loved it since I saw it on the runway outfit. I don't think it would be very practical for my personal lifestyle, but I really love the look that it has. So I'm always a big fan of when they introduce new bags with vintage vibes. It just makes me feel nostalgic because I really love vintage Chanel so much. I would consider it if it could fit a laptop. Not gonna lie, like that would be a game changer for me, but I don't think that it's going to fit a laptop, especially not mine. And it does have a back pocket, which is something that always wins me over. I'm such a big fan of this style of bags. I know that they're like very old lady coded, but that's actually what I like about them. I see Chanel as a brand that is very classic and that brings old classic styles to the modern days and try to implement them in modern outfits. I love that aspect of it, and this one I would get it in other color, probably not this one. I really love it, and I know that it's probably not super practical. This classic flaps, I don't like ombre bags, like the color fading from dark to lighter shades. I know that it adds something to the bag, so it's not just a plain color. I don't really love it, so I never would, but they have them in gray, brown, purple, and pink. I haven't been able to see the entire shoe collection, but I wanted to mention these ballerinas because I'm obsessed with Chanel ballerinas, and every time that they release a new collection, it's the first thing that I'm looking for, and these ones I absolutely loved. I don't know if I'm gonna ruin them. I'm definitely gonna try to find them, and if I can get them in my size, I'm probably going to. It's not very likely because finding my size, it's always really hard, but I love them. And when it comes to the ready to wear, here is where I was very conflicted because there's some outfits that I really like and there's some outfits that I was just like, no, I don't like this at all. So going into a few of them, this beige tweed jacket, I really love the details that it has. This is something that I would love to own, maybe not right now, but one day absolutely yes. This brown outfit, I also really like it. I would just probably not use a hat, and I also don't really like the belt that much. Love this green one. I think it's a really cool look in general. I love the ruffle details that the dress has, and I love the shirt underneath. It's just, this is something that I would absolutely love. This vest with a pearl belt, it's really perfection. I love it. This outfit is giving me Max Mara vibes. It's something that I would wear on a normal day, probably without the hat. That is just a little bit too much for me. I understand that on the runway it's the complete look, but the top and the skirt, I really love the combination. So this one is a yes for me. This one is absolutely something that I don't like. Like it's too much. These ones that I'm showing you next are just not my favorite type of looks. I don't feel like they're like bad in general. I'm not the biggest fan. They kind of feel like costumes and not like in a good way. Like I don't realistically see anyone wearing these outfits outside. If you like them, it's completely fine. I have very boring basic taste, so I definitely don't see myself wearing any of this. I kind of feel like I have very conflictive feelings regarding the collection. I love some pieces, especially when it comes to ready to wear, and there's other pieces that I just don't understand at all. And usually I have a very strong, concise opinion, so this one was a hit and a miss for me at the same time. I definitely have bags and clothing items that I loved enough to actually want to get them, but there's others that I just don't understand. And that's what fashion is about, to talk about it, and it's not gonna be everyone's cup of tea. But I would love to know what you guys think about, if you had a favorite. Let me know what you think about this bag, because it's beautiful, but is it beautiful enough to oversee the pastries? I don't think they're gonna ever release like this exact same bag, but just with the flowers, so I'm gonna definitely think about it. Now, talking about Virginie Viard leaving Chanel, I know that many people kind of expected this to happen. She was very criticized in the past couple of years. I do have a few thoughts on this, but I just want to say, like, I was not really expecting them to let her go at all, especially right now. I think that it was not really long ago that they stated that she was not going anywhere. Like, we have been hearing how Chanel has been increasing their profits and everything is going so well, so this was a little bit out of nowhere for me. And for the ones who want to know like a bit of a deep dive, I'm gonna try to resume it as best as I can and explain it. So she had been the creative director of Chanel since 2019. She took over after Carl passed away, and I know that it's been quite the topic since Carl passed, like the direction that Chanel has been taking in many ways. But from my side, it's mainly because of the price increases, the quality issues, the poor customer service. This have been consistently getting worse, like the prices keep going up. I don't feel like the quality is matching the price of the product for a while now. And every time that I go to the store, I just don't feel like I'm treated, like for example at Dior, that they're always so nice and make you feel so comfortable and give you the time. So yes, I'm not being also the happiest with some of the styles, and I've also been a little bit underwhelmed by the past runway shows. But Chanel is a brand that really needs consistency, and changing creative director is a really big deal. We got the news a few weeks ago, and I don't think that they're gonna explain to us why Virginie is leaving Chanel after 30 years, but I think, take it with a grain of salt, this is only my opinion. I don't know anything like beyond what everybody else knows, but it's just what I feel. And I think that she left, that Chanel did not part with her, but she decided to actually leave. If we think about it, she got behind the wheel in the most difficult time. After Carl passing and we had COVID, it was just not the regular designer entering a fashion brand. She was actually succeeding Carl at the probably worst timing ever. She had to fill Carl's shoes, who basically embodied what Chanel is like at its essence. So anyone that was gonna come after him, it was never ever going to be enough. It was going to be a change, but no one really wanted it to change. Fashion houses change directors when they want a change, to refresh, to bring a different look or different type of style to the brand, because something definitely needs to change. And in this case, nothing had to change, like everything was going very well. And Chanel did not depart with Carl, he just passed away. So this was something that no one looked for and no one wanted. And I know that Carl was very controversial. I'm just concisely talking about his work at Chanel and his designs. His fashion shows were amazing. They were my favorite to look at. Like, I would always grab a glass of wine and a snack and I would sit down and just watch them because they felt like a movie. It was so well made, like the market collection. I'm gonna put a few clips of this one so you can kind of see the difference of how they were and how they are now. But Carl's shows were like film sets. It was amazing. It was perfectly executed, so no matter who was going to be handed the job, it was a very high standard to reach, and I think we were all kind of expecting to kind of not even feel that he left. And Chanel made the right decision choosing her. Like, she was his prodigy, she was his right hand, she was under him for so many years, so it was only natural that she was going to be the one taking the place and the only right option that they had. Like, I never thought that she was not right for the part at all. I feel like she tried to follow as best as she could, with also putting herself into these designs, and many people just didn't like it, alongside with prices going up. So taking all of that into mind, I do have to say I am one of those who can tell you that the past couple of collections, especially when it comes to ready to wear, have not really been for me. As someone who had always loved pretty much every single thing that Chanel had put out, when this change happened, I started to not like things that much anymore. The bags were okay and in some way still kind of consistent, but yes, being objective, I am not the biggest fan of the hard bags, the stars, the metallics, the neons. However, this is just what I personally like. The majority of these bags and items, like the stars and the hearts, were very popular and completely sold out. You could see so many people looking for them, and they were selling like hot pancakes. So they're definitely catering to an audience and a consumer. I was just not that one. It was just not for me because they were selling and they were very popular. You could see them on the resale market going for way above retail price. So they were definitely bags that people really liked. I can tell that Chanel was aiming a little bit for the younger audience. Chanel has always been perceived as an older woman brand, and I don't see any problem with that, but Chanel changed from the classic tweed coats, the very timeless pieces that you would get and know that you were going to wear them for the next 30-40 years without a problem, to logo jeans, sandals, swimsuits, t-shirts, and you would see more ready-to-wear pieces on the streets. Like I would see so many girls with the Chanel logo jeans, and they were really cute. It became more trendy, it became more youthful. With all the logos, it was easier to spot someone wearing the brand. At some point, I felt like it was a little bit too much. So she did design pieces that were selling out and bringing a lot of money to the brand. Even if many of us don't really like all of these new collections and the bags and clothing that I mentioned, we cannot really say that she didn't do a good job. I feel like she did the best job that she could. She was kind of put into an impossible position and got so much criticism for it. I've read somewhere that she didn't take criticism very well, which honestly, it probably could be gossip, we don't know. It could also be Chanel deciding parting ways because they could not see eye to eye. But Chanel as a brand, leaving Virginie aside, was already getting so much criticism because of the prices, because of the quality. But as creative director, I don't think that she had any control over any of this. So she could have also been very well not content with how the brand was going. Taking into mind that she's also in her late 60s, she could be retiring. I think this is a very stressful job. She did so many collections under a very stressful situation and environment, and she could be just taking time to be at home enjoying life. This could be also a possibility. The thing is that this leaves Chanel without a designer, and this is actually something that it's going to possibly change either the brand forever or bring something good if they find someone who can maintain the consistency that Chanel needs. There's so many names that have been thrown out and under speculation by people. I'm not gonna talk about all of this because I feel like this has been covered by enough YouTubers already, and I don't think speculating will lead us anywhere because at the end of the day, I don't think we're gonna be right. But if you ask me, I think Marc Jacobs would be fantastic for the job, probably the best person and the best fit out there. But I think it's the most likely that Chanel will hire from within because they need someone that is going to stay long term. Chanel is not like the other fashion houses like Louis Vuitton, Gucci, Celine that can just want to change and fresh air. Chanel needs someone for the long run, absolutely yes, someone that is not going to leave, and someone that sort of has the Chanel essence already, like the style, but that can bring some sort of innovation into it, because that was what Carl had. He would be very consistent and like loyal to the style of the brand, but he would add innovation in a way that it would work out. They cannot bring someone that is going to shape the brand towards their own style. So I am very curious in how this is going to end, and I cannot wait to see who they choose because it's going to be big. I am someone who has always been a massive fan and I love Chanel so much, even if I can tell you that I have not been probably the happiest with the prices and the boutique experience, and in general I feel like it's a brand that has always aligned very well with the way that I like to dress. So I am very interested and cannot wait to see what happens. But I would love to know what you guys think about all of this, who you think that it's going to be the designer, which one was your favorite bag, why you think Virginie left. I think there's a lot to discuss, but I also think that we need to give her the credit that she deserves because it was a very hard job, and I hope that her leaving is for the best for her and for the brand and for everyone. I'm gonna leave the video here. If you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing and click the notification bell down below so you don't miss any of my videos. And if you're not done watching, I'm gonna leave you 2 videos right here in case you want to check them out. Thank you and see you on the next one. Bye!